Atmanirbhar Bharat, or self-reliant India, has emerged as one of the key themes of the NDA government under Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and achieving self-reliance in defence is a key priority area.
Apart from HAL's biggest helicopter manufacturing facility in India, the Prime Minister also gave a clean go-ahead for the Tumkuru Industrial Complex. This, situated on the Chennai-Bangalore infrastructure corridor, this facility aims to be the advanced technology-centric hub. The Prime Minister said that this will cater to the challenge of the advanced technologies coming in the near future. There are close to around 1,700 crore rupees invested into this project, and at 1,777 in acres of land is allocated for it. This hub aims to build up the technology hub and will cater to the Chennai-Bangalore infrastructure corridor, creating more than 1 lakh direct jobs and other ancillary jobs, is what Prime Minister said in his speech at Gubbi in Tumkuru district of Karnataka.
HAL की बढ़ती ताकत ढेर सारे पुराने झूठों को और झूठे आरोप लगाने वालों का पर्दाफाश कर रही है। हकीकत खुद बोल रही है। आज वही HAL भारत की सेनाओं के लिए आधुनिक तेजस बना रहा है, विश्व के आकर्षण का केंद्र है। आज HAL डिफेंस सेक्टर में भारत की आत्मनिर्भरता को बल दे रहा है।
Hindustan Aeronautics Limited is critical towards achieving these objectives. A defence PSU, it has already set a benchmark in indigenous manufacturing of defence equipment over many years, and it is setting bigger targets now.
In order to boost up India's defence industry, Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated the HAL's biggest helicopter manufacturing unit in Gubbi Taluk of Tumkuru district of Karnataka. In the 615 acres of campus, the HAL will produce light utility helicopters and multi-role helicopters which will serve in the defence sector of India. Prime Minister inaugurating it said that HAL has been forefront and he wishes that this utility becomes much more biggest industrial sector which generates employment close to around 90,000 people by manufacturing these helicopters in this facility in Gubbi. Prime Minister also said the opposition has been targeting HAL ever since the Rafale issue, but HAL, ignoring all this, has been contributing to the defence industry, and this facility will also come into play a larger role in the coming days.
India still remains heavily reliant on defence imports. In fact, it was among the 5 largest arms importers between 2017 to 2021, along with Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Australia and China. The biggest exporters of arms in the same period were the United States, Russia, France, China and Germany. Our focus on this edition of Inside is HAL. According to its annual report in the year 2021-22, it recorded its highest ever turnover of 24,360 crore rupees, a growth of 8%. The profit before tax grew by 22%, and the profit after tax by 57%. Some of HAL's key achievements over the last year include bagging the contract for the production and supply of 15 light combat helicopters in March last year, the inauguration earlier this month of the largest helicopter manufacturing facility in India in Tumkuru in Karnataka, completing a major investment as part of the UP Defence Industrial Corridor, and as part of the Indian government's plans to boost defence exports, signing contracts with the government of Mauritius for the supply of 1 passenger variant DO-228 and 1 advanced light helicopter. When Prime Minister Narendra Modi spoke in Tumkuru, apart from highlighting some of HAL's achievements, he also spoke out against what he described as misinformation that had been spread about HAL. The allusion was to Rahul Gandhi and the Congress party, which had claimed before the 2019 Lok Sabha polls that the Indian government had deprived the HAL of an offsets contract following the signing of a direct government-to-government deal between India and France for the procurement of 36 Rafale jets.
Dassault कंपनी ने एक भी हवाई जहाज डिलीवर नहीं किया है। आज तक एक हवाई जहाज नहीं आया है। डैसोल्ट कंपनी को 20,000 करोड़ रुपए हिंदुस्तान की सरकार ने पेमेंट दे दिया है। एचएएल कंपनी हवाई जहाज डिलीवर कर गई है, हेलीकॉप्टर्स डिलीवर कर दिए हैं, और 15,700 करोड़ रुपए उनका पैसा आप उनको नहीं दे रहे हो, उनका ड्यू है।
यही एचएएल है जिसे बहाना बनाकर हमारी सरकार पर तरह तरह के झूठे आरोप लगाए गए। यही एचएएल है जिसका नाम लेकर लोगों को भड़काने की साजिश रची गई। झूठ कितना ही बड़ा क्यों न हो, कितनी ही बार बोला जाता हो, कितने ही बड़े लोगों से बोला जाता हो, लेकिन एक न एक दिन वो सच के सामने हारता ही है।
What's the future outlook now for HAL? Deepak Bopanna spoke to the chairman and MD of HAL, C.B. Ananthakrishnan, in a wide-ranging interview. Let's tune in.
The Prime Minister dedicated India's largest helicopter facility to the nation in Tumkuru, of course, and this facility, of course, is being run, operated, built by HAL, which of course has been one of the leading contributors to the Indian defense sector, be it in the production of, fighter crafts or choppers. Today we're going to talk about this facility, which is being touted as one of the largest in South Asia. To talk about this, I have the CMD of HAL, Mr. C.B. Ananthakrishnan, joining us. Thank you so much for joining us on this special broadcast, sir. It's wonderful having you. And before anything, I would like to ask you, it must be an ecstatic feeling to have the Prime Minister come to the facility, inaugurate it, and then say so many wonderful things about the organization.
Good morning, Mr. Deepak. I mean, it has been, we are thankful for this opportunity. I can say we were really honored and privileged by the presence of our Honorable Prime Minister to dedicate the Tumkuru facility to the nation, apart from unveiling our new product, light utility helicopters. And the Prime Minister's appreciation of HAL has already been much talked about amongst our employees, and it's been a big motivation, and we are all elated about the way Prime Minister has got the respect for HAL. And it is going to be a real motivating factor for all of us in HAL, and we are sure that with these such words of our Honorable PM, we will be able to do much more and live up to his expectations.
Well, that must feel great, but now I want to ask you certain questions, of course, about this entire facility. It's being said that it's one of the largest in South Asia. What is the capability in terms of production? Also, what's the demand for the LUH? If you could throw more light on firstly the LUH and also the facility in itself.
Yeah, the light utility helicopter is one of the state-of-the-art helicopters which has been designed in a 3-ton category and completely designed and manufactured by HAL. And it is perfectly in line with the vision of our Honorable Prime Minister to have the complete Atmanirbhar and self-reliance within the country as far as the defense platforms are concerned. And this is going to be the Indian solution for the replacing the aging Cheetah Chetaks, which is of French origin. And this LUH has been built with state-of-the-art technologies, including the latest avionics and then the higher powered engine as well as the transmission system, and it has been all the experiences and deficiencies which we have noticed in the earlier Cheetah Chetak, which has been there with the services for almost 3 to 4 decades. We all have been addressed here, and this is going to be a more advanced version which will help the defense forces to meet their requirements, especially in the high altitudes. As I have told that this LUH is going to, it's capable of landing at the highest altitude, which is one of its kind in the world today. And that way this mission makes the entire requirements of the defense forces and addresses all their concerns and will be a perfect fit for their usage in the...
So HAL of course has had its fair share of challenges when it comes to building of engines of the fighter jets, but when it comes to choppers, you've been probably one of the leading manufacturers of choppers. I would not be wrong if I say across the world as well. So how confident are you in terms of ensuring that the production rate is pumped up, by also parallelly ensuring the quality is, something that's not compromised.
Yeah, as you could see today, we are talking about producing 30 helicopters in the Tumkuru facility, and which will be scaled up to 60 numbers in phase 2 once it is completed, and we can go up to 90 numbers. So that is the sort of capacity build which we have done as far as the helicopters are concerned, apart from the existing facility at Bangalore, which is capable of producing another 30 helicopters. So all in all, the amount of capacity which we had created, rather it shows the confidence which we have as far as the chopper segment is concerned. And we have got a variety of programs which is coming up. The advanced light utility helicopters, already 300 numbers have been delivered, 300 plus numbers have been delivered to the defense customers. And the other major programs like light combat helicopters and then the light utility helicopters, which is presently being unveiled, and also the future programs of IMRH, the Indian medium role helicopter. So all in all, which would mean that there are going to be a number of programs parallelly running as far as HAL is concerned, and for which all of which we need sufficient capacities, and that is where this capacity will come very handy, and it will be a real global manufacturing hub as far as the helicopters are concerned.
When this facility, when it started, and there were certain deadlines that were put up, how confident were you of meeting those deadlines today? When yes, inauguration has been done, but when you talk about the entire readiness of this particular plant, if you could give our viewers a little bit of sense of when is it going to be completely up and running, where the manufacturing can happen at the rate that HAL has promised?
No, as of today, the operations have commenced. We have got the structural angular completely done. The structural activities can start building up in the present factory. Then from structural, it can go up to the equipping stage, and equipping hangar also is full-fledged. Then flight hangar. This is what has been envisaged in the first phase of the project, and it has all been completed. So which would mean that from this stage, 30 helicopters can really be produced, and it can be tested and flight tested over there and certified. So the capacity as of today, we will be in a position to build 30 helicopters, but we are trying to expand it to 60 numbers once the phase 2 activity of the factory is getting completed. And after that, depending on the demand requirements, we can go up to 90 helicopters. And in fact, we are trying to create an ecosystem within the factory by engaging the MSMEs. And
being close to the Bangalore facility, does this help? Because all of you senior officials, for you to commute between one place to the other becomes much more easier.
Absolutely, because that we have already had an established facility in Bangalore, and also many of our ancillary industries are located in Pinia. So all this would mean that there is an ecosystem already which is prevailing in Bangalore, which is getting extended now to Tumkuru. So that way it has definitely been a positive for us that having our factory and the ecosystem in Bangalore established. To get it done in Tumkuru, it's not going to be difficult. It is only going to be an extension, and we are confident that it will, once it is done full and through, it is going to be one of the biggest facilities, as what we have told, in India as well as in Asia.
And what would you like to say about the IMRH? Because the Prime Minister touched on upon this. How far are we from ensuring that there are enough number manufactured to actually help either the defense sector or HAL to present it to the world?
Yeah, IMRH is all to all a very different category of helicopters. It is a bigger helicopter. It is 12-ton category. We have gotten 3.3 tons of LUH, the 5.5 tons of advanced light helicopter. Now it will be a 12-ton category of helicopter. We have already initiated the design concept. Preliminary design review has been completed, and the design activity has also been in full progress. So we are hopeful that this design activity should get completed in the next 3 to 4 year time frame is what we are looking at. And we are also in the process simultaneously of finalizing the engine configuration and the engine sort of partnership to be established in India. So that all in all, so far we have been only getting the engines from the foreign OEM and under TOT getting manufactured in India. But this is one program where we are looking at engine IPR itself will remain within the country, and the design and design activity itself, the design and development will get completed.
Is there a plan to completely shift the base to Tumkuru, or are you going to run both of these units parallel?
We will be running both the units. We will not be shifting to Tumkuru because we have got enough programs to keep both the plants occupied. So we will be running Tumkuru is an add-on facility to the.
And what about the employment? What do you think over the next 1 year? How much of employment do you thing is going to be generated. I want to ask you directly and indirectly, because that's a big boon for some people living in Tumkuru, a facility like this coming up. That's the reason I ask you this.
Yeah, people at present, as you know, that at present the people who are engaged for these operations is around 300 in number, both HAL and the permanent and tenure based, and for the people who are required for the operation, this we expect it to go up to 500 in the next 6 months to 1 year time frame. And once the activity is fully, the second phase of activity it comes, it should go up to 1200. But this is all I am talking about what we employ, HAL will employ. Besides it, there are going to be a number of ancillary industries coming up over there, and then the indirect activities which will all be taken up. So at the peak of our capacity, we expect not less than 5,000 to 6,000 should be the employment generation in that region.
Okay. So now I'd like to come back, to what we started with. The Prime Minister speaking so highly about HAL. You did say that it felt great. It was something that was a confidence booster for all of you all. He also did mention at that point in time that many doubted, the government and its motives, especially politically, did come up. Questions did come up about whether the government is backing the HAL enough. Do you feel that you've got enough support from the centre, and also since your base is here in Karnataka, from the state government here as well?
Obviously, we have, whenever the right from the design and development and for the progress to run, we had got both from the state government the maximum cooperation, and from we being a defence PSU, the complete support has been there from the ministry. And but for that, this project could not have been completed at this scale, at such faster, at the time period at which it has been done. Of course, in spite of the COVID pandemic, there was a setback. We could complete this project and run through the project. And now with confidence, when we are talking about 90 helicopters getting produced over a period of time, when it reaches its peak capacity, this is something phenomenal which cannot happen only if HAL has been involved. It is support both from the Central Ministry of Defence as well as from the state government. We are into this position today.
So also, I know you wouldn't want to get into the political aspects of this. Some of the opposition in the parliament said that probably the HAL's role is being cut down, especially during the Rafale deals. This issue did come up. I'm not going to ask you to answer politically, but I'm definitely going to ask you if you could touch down a little more on the kind of support that you've got, not just for this particular facility in Tumkuru from the Ministry of Defence, for HAL's growth, and how has it been over the last few years?
No, we are focused on our operations, we are focused on our business development, and we are focused on all the stakeholders, and their ends are sort of a role. So we are a complete independent business entity, and we will continue to be so. And what business decisions we have to take, we will continue to take those business decisions. In fact, as you could see, the revenue which has been growing continuously year on year for the last in fact, which it was very minimal in the last 5 to 6 years, it has been at around 8% growth it has achieved, and we have become a listed company in sometime in 2018, and today we are one of the market capitalization has improved, and almost we are close to somewhere around 85,000 crores of market capitalization, and we are in the top 75. So all in all, it has been a very progressive growth during the last few years, and we will continue to do. The business has been growing continuously. The order book position has become quite healthy now, and we will continue to do that.
Okay, so do you feel all of this has been a result of any sort of support or that's coming from the Ministry of Defence, or?
Obviously, all the customers have been very supportive. The Indian Defence customers has been very supportive of HAL, and they have the confidence, and that is the reason our order book today, it is somewhere pending order book is 84,000 crores, and we have generated a revenue of almost 25,000 crores on an average during the last 3 to 4 years. All this would mean that in spite of liquidating the order book and supplying to the defence customer, the order book still keeps coming to us, and it stands at 84,000 crores. And there are another 55,000 crore, it is in the pipeline. So this will also add up to the future order book. So all in all, our operations will continue unhindered, and we will keep growing in the years to come.
Right. Another big event that's coming up, of course, is Aero India, and this will be your first time as CMD there. What's the flagship product that is really something that the people get to see once they come for the Aero Show this time around?
Yeah, as you know that we are there right from the fly past up then into the flying display as well as in the static displays. In fact, we have got a range of indigenously designed and developed product today, both in the helicopter segment to start with, and then the trainers and the aircraft, and then the fighter jets which we are having. All of these are going to get displayed, and some of which are going to be participating in the fly past, some of which are going to be there in the air show as well. So all in all, it is going to be a very, very interesting and exciting show for HAL. If you would like to see this few names, as the aircraft, fixed aircraft segment, the trainers HTT-40 will also be performing part of the fly past, and then the light utility element, the light combat aircraft will be there, LCAs, Tejas, and then the helicopter segment, light utility helicopter, light combat helicopters, advanced light helicopter, Sarang will be there. So it is going to be a very dominant HAL show as it is to be in the past.
And last time I remember, at one of the stalls, the future of the HAL aircraft was something that you tried to depict through the entire unmanned aircraft systems, through the drones and all of that. And something futuristic that we're going to see this time as well.
We are already into the job. Last time what the CATS program, as you call it, that combat air teaming system, which we have already unveiled in the last program, and this will continue to be there. We are taking it in a very aggressive way, and the design activity part of it is getting through now. That is one program which will be a very futuristic and very interesting project which will come up in the days to come. I'm
just going to take a couple of quick questions. What's the status of the production of the LCAs? How is that going? Is that going at the pace that you deem fit?
Yeah, LCA, it is going on well, and the trainers, the last of the FOC trainers will also get delivered in the current financial year as well as in the next financial year. With that, all the backlog orders will get cleared, and the new order 83 LCA which we have got, that will all the first delivery is to commence from February of 24, and all the activities towards that is in line, and we are confident that we will be in a position to deliver the first aircraft under that 83 Mark 1A program in February 24 as per the original delivery schedule envisaged.
Could I also ask you a question on the Mark II engines?
Mark II aircraft, yes, there has been LCA Mark II aircraft program also has been design development has been sanctioned, and we are into the thick of activity along with the Aeronautical Design Agency, so that we expect it the first aircraft to fly somewhere in 2025, 24-25 it should happen, and we are into that, and that is another major program which is coming up for HAL.
And this time in the Aero Show, are you hoping that Tejas, of course, the Indian Air Force has already asked you to produce, and you are doing that, and you are expanding your plant. Are you hoping that some other country brings in and puts in a request for production for them as well?
Yeah, we have already shown a lot of interest have been shown in our LCA product. It is one of the proven product, and people who have flown that have expressed a lot of satisfaction into that. The leads have come from many countries. Many countries are interested, and we are sure that sooner or later we will break into the global sort of a market, and our LCAs will be flying in the foreign skies as well. And that is what our, we are very confident about that.
Well, it was great having a chat with you, and thank you for being so open and giving us some straightforward answers. Thank you so much for speaking to us. Well, that's all we have.
Thank you.
From here, of course, some really interesting answers that's coming in about the Mark II, about the Aero Show, and of course about the wonderful plant that has been set up in Tumkuru, which of course could change the entire scenario for India's defence sector overall.